They say the world will be getting old. It will be changing. People that live in it will start having hard times.
The words of Lucy Adams Elders. The 74-year-old Inupiat Eskimo tans caribou hide. She will sew into mucklucks.
You have to use your strength. You got to have strength to do it.
Residents of this small village will need strength for the challenges ahead. Kivalina is remote even by Alaska standards, almost 150 miles north of Kotzebue, 1,000 miles from Anchorage. It's nestled on a thin gravel spit separating the Chukchi Sea from the frozen Kivalina Lagoon. The changes witnessed by the village come from the sea. For the last few years, violent storms devoured the beach. A $3 million seawall built by the Northwest Arctic Borough didn't last one season. The seawall is now a jumbled mess of huge sandbags. Even they are no match for the surf.
Right now, since this project failed, the seawall failed, they've lost their peace of mind.
The village wants to move, to relocate off of this thin spit. In a small building shared by the tribe, city, and borough, Enoch Adams, the chairman of the Relocation Planning Committee, says Kivalina is in its 10th year of a 5-year plan to relocate.
Had we relocated on schedule, we wouldn't need the seawall, we wouldn't be worrying about erosion, we wouldn't be worrying about an evacuation road.
Kivalina's original motivation to move had nothing to do with erosion. The village wanted more space, someplace that would allow simple amenities like sewer and water.
A lot of our people have moved away because there's no room to build.
They say the erosion has now made a move imperative. A fall storm this year forced most in Kivalina to evacuate to Kotzebue and by ATV 15 miles down the coast to the Red Dog Mine port site. But who would pay for the village to relocate?
The prices ranged from about $180 million to $250 million.
With less than 400 people living in Kivalina, that amounts to more than $500,000 per person. In 2005, Congress gave $8 million to help 9 villages fighting erosion. The Corps of Engineers spent the money on a seawall in the village of Shishmaref. The Corps is now planning for a similar wall in Kivalina.
There's not funding available, but if funding is provided in the fiscal year 08 appropriation bill, we'll be positioned to construct a revetment at Kivalina next year.
Village is about ready to be annihilated. You don't think that's an emergency?
Well, sir, at a recent congressional hearing in Anchorage, Senator Stevens blasted the Corps for not using emergency funding he claims Congress authorized.
We had damage up and down the West Coast, just like they had in New Orleans. But every time we get money, we have to use it for an environmental impact statement. You can see the damage. It takes a full year to get people in there to start preventing the next year's damage.
As yet, the Corps doesn't believe it can dip into disaster funding to build seawalls.
Maybe the bags floated or the sand wash.
The erosion crisis has caught the state's attention too. Enoch Adams recently gave Lieutenant Governor Sean Parnell a tour of the damaged seawall.
In some cases, the bags broke. In other cases, the bags just rolled away from the current of the ocean. A lot of them tore.
How many yards or miles of coastline are you working to protect?
We've got 1,800 feet.
Parnell acknowledges the dilemma, the necessity to move, but at a cost that makes it unlikely. Parnell says new approaches are needed, including seeking out private sector help.
State government, federal government, we just don't have the dollars available for each village. But I think if we can pull the village together, and then if we can pull Alaska together on solving it, I think we can do it.
While government bureaucracies bicker and politicians talk of new approaches with private philanthropists, Kivalina's response is to fill more sandbags. The wall in Adams' office shows no progress, only another brainstorming session.
That was my 5th time doing this. So I mean, I could do this with blindfolders and.
You use your strength all the time to make these things.
Kivalina will need its strength because hope is fading.
Are they supporting us to relocate? Or are we all by ourselves? Questions.